to keep it rolling.
Well, good morning, my friends. Before we get started with this week's vlog, I do have a collaboration with a company I've worked with a few times called Dossier. I never know how to pronounce it. Anyway, they have affordable perfumes with a higher concentration than you would get in other perfumes, and they are inspired by different fragrances. I actually have two here. I'm going to reorder this one because it's gone. This is Aquatic Peony. This was my favorite. I think I showed you that last time I showed you this, I had 2 or 3 squirts left. It is completely, look, that's it. I can't even get it. There's like a drop in there and I can't get it out. So I tried. So that one's gone. And then I'm also really loving this one. This is Citrus Green Apple, and that is about halfway gone. So I have these two. They do come with magnetic tops. They are inspired by some of your favorite fragrances like Chanel, Versace, Lancome, Acqua di Gaio, and so you can go and you can look for a brand that you like and see if they have a inspired by that perfume on the website. And I believe these start at only like $29 or $39, friends, so super affordable, high concentration. They're vegan and cruelty free. They have a nice guarantee too, so like if you try a scent and you don't like it and you return it, they will donate it to a charity, and then you can pick out a new scent, which is nice. So I have 2 of them here that we're going to try. I'm going to share with you who they were inspired by and the concentration and the notes. This one is called Floral Pink Pepper. It comes in recyclable packaging as well. So for me, a lot of times when I see that it's a yellower formula, I noticed with myself, I tend to like the formulas where it's white, where it's a clear scent. I don't know what the difference is. I'm not a perfume aficionado. I don't know. But I've just noticed that the ones that have like a clear, lighter, fresher scent are more my speed. These have more of usually a little bit more of a heavier scent, or a powder or an amber scent, and that's not my favorite, but we're gonna try this and see. This is why it's so great, because they have a guarantee. It's completely risk-free to try it, and I'm not spending $100 to try it either. I can try it a few times if I like it and send it back if I don't. So this is Floral Pink Pepper. This is inspired by Dior, by the Miss Dior Cherie, the 2017 version. The top notes are bergamot, lychee, and orange. The middle notes are rose, jasmine, and pink pepper, and the base notes are patchouli, blonde woods, and vanilla. It might be those base notes that I'm not loving. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll love this because some of the scent notes in here sound amazing. The concentration on this one is 18%. It does say our mission is to deliver the highest quality, luxury-inspired fragrances at a fair price, giving you the freedom to explore new scents. Thank you for giving us a try. All right, so, and there's a return page on there if you don't like the scent that you get. So, oh, I think I might like it. I'd see that I smell a little bit of a powder scent, so I'm going to spray it on the card first. Okay, I can smell the oranges, like an orange scent in it. Didn't they say there was orange? Yeah, lychee and orange. Actually, I'm going to put this on. I think I'm going to like it. I was like scared of it because it had the yellow, but it's a nice concentration. I think you guys would like this one too. This will be a nice, I probably just put too much on. I'm not going to rub it because I got to do the other hand. I wanted to do this. You're not supposed to do that with perfume, but I always do anyway. So, all right. So that, I think I'm going to like that. We're going to let that one settle just a little bit, and we'll just try the other one. I think I like that one. So that was the Dior inspired one. This one is called Fruity Honey, and this one is inspired by Jo Malone, which is very expensive. It's inspired by the Jo Malone Nectarine Blossom and Honey Cologne. Okay, this one, the top notes are blackcurrant and green leaves. Middle notes are honey and nectarine, and base notes are peach and vegetar. That sounds interesting. Okay, this one also has an 18% concentration. So. And you can see they don't waste money in their packaging. I will say it is a glass bottle. You're also getting, I think it's like 1.7 full ounces. Does it tell me on here? yeah, 1.7 full ounces or 50 mLs, which is a lot. And then this is also an 18% concentration. So let's spray this one. Got to see where the sprayer is. Let's see what we think, and I'll tell you which one I like better. I think I'm gonna like this one better. This is more fruity. This is more fresh and fruity for the spring for me. I like this one. I'm not saying I didn't think I was going to, and I'm pleasantly surprised. That's something I will grab for and I will wear. And I think it's some of those floral notes are coming out. So I'm thinking that that's going to be a nice one for spring. This one is definitely more fruity and honey for sure. It's a lighter scent, but it's still 18% concentration, so it should be. I'm gonna put that on my neck too. We'll see what Robert thinks. He's so picky about them. He also doesn't like I have some that I wear for the winter that are definitely more heavier scented for the winter time, and he doesn't like that as much. But I did find through this brand, I wear my designer brand that I wear is La Biesse Belle, and it's like $100 a bottle. I did not buy a bottle of it or have anybody buy me one for Christmas this year because I had this form of it and inspired by one, and it's so much exactly the same that I couldn't tell the difference between the two brands, and one was $100 and one was I think $29 or $39. So I mean, it was kind of like a no-brainer for me. So anyway, check them out. I do have a code for you guys. It'll get you a discount, and it is 10 Terry Kubicki. You'll get 10% off your first purchase. Really great for Mother's Day. Easter's coming up. Little Easter baskets if you have teenage girls. You can get their favorite, they're inspired by favorite scent or whatever. I think you guys will really, really like it. So this one again is Fruity Honey, and this is after the Jo Malone Nectarine Blossom and Honey Cologne. So thanks for watching this little collaboration with Dossier, and I will see you in the vlog. Good morning, friends. Welcome to this week's vlog. It is Saturday morning, and I am just doing some cleaning. I'm cleaning out an old tray thing for to start some seeds, a little seed tray, because it was outside and just kind of dirty. I have done a lot this morning already. I have, kind of cleaned off the countertops. It's not completely beautiful yet, but cleaned another jug out so we can do another one of those. Cleaned kind of my table here. Still got all that on it, which honestly it just stays there until I move it into a different room. And I vacuumed. I've got laundry going. I've got a load of sheets and a blanket that already came out that I need folding. Took some clothes and put it upstairs. Got my face ready. Did not do hair. Grayson should be here. He's spending the night with us, so he should be here around 12:30, 1 o'clock, something like that. Also just did a wet mop on the floor. We need to really replace the floor in here. There's no getting it clean, and let me show you. See, it's filthy. This is just the way it looks all the time. There's a cat toy, but there's holes in it, and that's just a hole, and there's several of those in this floor, and it's stained. So I'm gonna talk to my son about if I bought some, not hardwood, but what we have up in Kenzie's room. I think I want to go with some light grayish tone, gray and white tones on that wood. I don't know what that's called, where it snaps in, and see if, because he needs money and he knows how to do that. And so I was it's so hard for me to get Robert, because literally Robert works 6 days a week. Today he's working and he's going over to his daughter's house to fix her sink and put a ceiling fan in. He did say he doesn't think he's gonna do more than that today. But he works 6 days a week. So the very last thing this is so big on me now. Jesus, put it over the shoulder. The very last thing that he wants to do when he's on his day off is more stuff around the house. So it's really hard to get him to do anything. But my son, he's young, they need money. If he doesn't get overtime, he's struggling. His fiance really doesn't work much. So I think I'm going to see if I buy the material, if he'll put it in, and I'll pay him for it. I don't think it's going to be super hard. He may need a little help from Robert, but I'm pretty sure he knows how to do all that stuff. So, birdies out there. I think I did a little clip of some birds, but my windows, it wouldn't zoom in and show you the colors of the little chickadees and cardinals and things that are coming to the bird feeder. So if we have time later and I'm outside filming, maybe I can get a little clearer video of that. I'm going to also have Grayson help me fill up the bird feeder out front, which I think he'll have fun doing. TJ always loves doing that as well. Oh, and I potted up one of my Christmas cactuses. So let me show you. I potted up this one. It says it needs medium light. I meant to actually look at that and see how often you're supposed to feed it. Once every month during growing season. Water, allow soil to dry between thoroughly before putting more water. Okay, so this needed a little bit more room, and it was in like a plastic pot, and actually it was in a plastic pot with a pink foil thing, and it stained really badly my countertops. So these are those bulbs we planted the other day. And then this is a little cactus that is a heart shape that I've had for 2 years. It was a little Valentine's gift 2 years ago to Robert, and it outgrew it needed more room for the roots. So I don't know what else it does. Like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get babies on that thing. I don't know. And then I put new wax in the warmers. It's like a jasmine, I forgot, I'll tell you. I don't know if we still have it, actually. It's like a really fresh smell. So we've got our little collection here. Got to get this put away. That's all stuff for Valentine's Day. This is a candle from Bath and Body Works that I need to find a container for. The container itself came in completely cracked, and and it smells so good. Oh, it smells so good. So I'd like to be able to use that, but I need to get a container for that. Started in here, got some more work to do, cleaned this off mostly. This is Drew's stuff. He's got to take that home, little socks actually I'll keep those there for Grayson. But this is all stuff for him. And I'm going to sit down, I think, and start reading this book, Psychic Ability, and I'm going to have some tea. Matt Fraser is one of my most favorite psychic mediums. You guys need to look him up. He is on YouTube. Trust me when I tell you, like, if you don't believe in mediums, this guy has some kind of a special gift. Take a look at him and watch a few of his videos. Let me know your thoughts. He's so funny. Him and his wife, actually, his wife is like a beauty pageant queen girl. Anyway, his wife Alexa and him just had a beautiful, beautiful baby. I also got this. This was recommended from Flower Hill Farm, which is another channel I watch. So this sits around your neck. I think you have to charge it, but basically if you're walking around cleaning and you want to listen to like a podcast or something, you can leave your phone wherever and it will pick up and you can hear it, but you'll still hear what's going on around you, which is important. Like if the baby's sleeping or if I'm upstairs doing something and the dogs start barking, like if somebody comes to the door, I'll still be able to hear. So this is Bluetooth enabled. I am going to try to get that going today. And I'm also taking a course. I haven't told Robert or my kids or anybody, so unless they watch my videos, which they don't. I think Robert did watch our trip video back. It's funny because he doesn't like to be on camera, or anything like that. I mean, he takes pictures. He doesn't care if I put like a Christmas picture of us up on Facebook, but he's just doesn't like his personal business out there. He's much more of a quiet, not shy, but he's more reserved of an individual, certainly more reserved than me. You know, I mean, shoot, I did a bra review for you guys and for Lily Silk. So although I did get a request from another company to a paid sponsorship, but it was all bras and underwear, and I just didn't feel comfortable, so I turned that down. Anyway, I am doing another course with a lady named Suzanne Geisemann. I'm not sure I'm saying it right. She also has a YouTube channel. I'll put hers and I'll put Matt Fraser's down below because I watched those two. I watched Teresa Caputo, John Edwards. I just love it. I have had a gift since I was a very, very little girl. Now, the only time that I actually saw a physical spirit was when I was 3 years old. I don't know if I told you this story, so I'll go ahead and share it with you. because I didn't know that this was a spirit that I saw until years later. So what happened was I was 3, my sister Shannon was 1, and I remember it was in my old bedroom off of the kitchen, and my sister was crying and my mom was in the bathroom. So I didn't want my sister to cry, so I took her rattle and I was shaking it just to get her to stop crying, to entertain her, because I was too little to get her out of the crib, too little to hold her really. And a man came up to me at the time. So like thinking back on this, I can remember it was like yesterday. It just looked like a shadow, really. Like there were no defining features other than it was tall and it was like a black shadow of a man. I don't remember any facial features, hair, anything like that, just like a black shadow. Whatever, I wasn't afraid of it, whatever it was, but I clearly saw it, and it took the rattle from me. I guess I was annoying it, and he put it on top of the dresser, my sister's dresser. Well, I wanted that rattle, and being the stubborn little kid that I was, I pulled each one of the drawers out from the dresser. I climbed up the dresser to get the rattle, and the entire dresser fell on top of me, and I broke my leg from right below my kneecap. I broke it in 3 spots. And I was on crutches at 3 for a while. My mom's got pictures of me in crutches. No, she has one handy, and I doubt I can get it before I put this vlog up, but if I can, I'll stick a picture of me when I was 3 in crutches, see if she has a photo of it. So anyway, years and years later, like I always knew what happened, but in my mind I started to think, well, maybe it was my dad, or maybe it was his brother, because I know his brother, my uncle, lived with us for a short period of time. I honestly don't even remember him living with us, but I guess he did for a short period of time. So fast forward, I'm now 16 years old. We're all sitting around the kitchen table. It might have been my birthday because my Aunt Janet was there. I don't remember anybody but my Aunt Janet being there and my siblings. She may have just been visiting. I thought it was my birthday, but maybe not. Anyway, so we were talking about, somehow this topic came up about me breaking my leg. And I said, well, you know why I climbed the dresser? Because I remember. And I said, a man took it away from me. I don't know if it was Dad or Uncle Don. And I was trying to climb the dresser to get the rattle back. And my mom looked at me and she said, Terry, there was no one home. Your father was working. It was just me, you, and your sister. And I said, well, was Uncle Don living with us at the time? And she said, no. She said she said, I panicked because we were completely alone. I had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and you clearly had broken your leg, and the dresser was on top of you. You were screaming, and I called your dad, and he had to come home from work, and we had to take you to the hospital. So I sat there for a minute kind of confused because in my mind, at 3, I didn't really question what this was. But now at 16, which is common, you sort of are taught, like, don't believe in that stuff, blah, blah, blah. And we were raised Catholic, so we were absolutely taught not to believe in any of that. And I said, well, Mom, the reason I climbed the dresser was because a man took the rattle away from me. She said, Terry, a man did not take the rattle away from you. Nobody was home. And I said, Mom, yes, he did. I don't know who he was, but someone took the rattle from me, and that's why I climbed the dresser. Well, she blew me off and didn't want to talk about it anymore. So later, my aunt called me, and my Aunt Janet, and she's like, you know why your mom doesn't want to talk to you about that situation with the rattle and breaking your leg? And I said, no, I have no idea. And she said, because when your mom was small, she had a very similar experience. She came into, I don't know, it was the kitchen or the living room, and she saw a shadow of a man bending over her dog. She didn't know what he was doing to the dog, if he was petting the dog, and it scared her. She looked at it for a minute, and it scared her, and she ran to her room and hid under the covers. And somehow I think whoever this person is like an ancestor of my mother's, And there's been people that have come into my mother's home also saying that the house is haunted or it has a spirit or whatever, but never something. I don't think it's haunted. I think it's a disembodied soul of an individual that is somehow related to our family, that maybe is keeping an eye over us but I think it's attached to my mom's side of the family. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. I really don't know what it is. But anyway, fast forward in life, I've had several instances as an adult where I've had prophetic dreams. For instance, I had a friend who was in hospice. I dreamt that 2 days before he died, I dreamt that he died at 2 a.m. Now, I woke up, and at the time, the only person I had shared that with was my now ex-husband. He believes me because he has seen a couple of these things happen and come to fruition. He didn't think it was weird. If I told Robert, Robert knows these things, but he's like, whatever. Like, he doesn't believe. He's a very, very big skeptic. And anyway, his wife had called me a couple days later and said that he had passed on. And I asked her, I said, well, would you mind telling me what time he died? I know it's a weird question. And she said 2 a.m. Now, looking back, I think I didn't understand what was happening or what I was supposed to do. But I think I was supposed to tell his wife so that she would be with him at that time when he had passed, so he wouldn't pass alone. He had lung cancer from smoking. Even though he hadn't smoked in 20 years, the damage had already been done. And from diagnosis to death was 6 months. He was coughing up blood. It went to his brain, all of that, and spread throughout his whole body. So, but because I didn't get the message to her, because I was in my early 20s, I was pregnant, I think, with my second child. I would have been 22 at the time, probably 22, almost 23, something like that. And anyway, she was there when he passed on, so God somehow helped her and got her the message. And I also had another dream that my ex-mother-in-law and father-in-law had gotten into a car accident, and they had 3 vehicles at the time, and I told her about this because we were over there on Mother's Day, and I said, I had this dream and it was just so real. And so it was your white vehicle, because they had 3 different ones at the time, and you got hit and your airbags go off, and Nana went to the hospital, which was my mother-in-law. But she was fine. Like nobody was seriously hurt. Everything was fine, but there was a car accident. Well, told her, nothing came of it, right? So a couple months later, sorry, I've been cleaning and now I've got cat hair, or dog hair or something. Probably dog hair. Anyway, so months later, that exact scenario happened. And as soon as she told me, I said, what car were you in? She told me, and I said, Nana, do you remember me telling you that dream on Mother's Day that I had about you getting into the accident? The airbags were going to deploy, you were going to go to the hospital, but you were going to be okay. She goes, oh my God, I do. And so that was another time that happened. I'm trying to think if there was any other situations I've had. I've had intuition things, where I felt like I needed to get off the road. I've been in situations where I felt like something bad was around me, or there was danger and I needed to leave. Just your basic intuition, which we all have. But one night, and I'm trying to remember because I don't know if this was around when Scott, my ex-husband's grandmother died, who was the only grandmother I knew. My grandparents, 2 died before I was born. They died when my dad was little, and then I had my Grandma Helen, who I'm named after. That's my middle name. I had her in my life till I was about 2, but I don't remember her. And I look just like her. I look like a spitting image of her. I did see photos of her not too long ago, and I look just like my grandma. So that's kind of cool since I'm named after her. And I know she watches over me. I talk to her sometimes, even though I don't remember her. My mom said I just loved her to pieces. So I'm sure we're going to be reunited someday. All right, I got interrupted. That was my son. He's down the road. They'll be here any second. He just said he has to pick up diapers, and he's getting gas right now. So anyway, the only other thing that I had happen to me, besides regular stuff that happens on a pretty regular basis, is, and this I really can't explain. So I was sleeping one night. I think it was around the time when Gigi had passed away. Might have been a year after, might have been 6 months. I don't really remember. I'm not even 100% sure if that's even correct, if it was after she died. But anyway, Well, Kenzie had some kind of ability too, because after she had passed on, I remember Kenzie, she used to sit in this pink like rocker recliner chair that was in her room all the time. And after she had passed on, Kenzie was 6 years old, and we went to her Nana's house, and she came running down the hall saying, I saw Gigi. And I was like, what do you mean? Because she was like this with her. And she's like, I saw her. She was sitting in her chair. And I said, oh, maybe she's visiting us from heaven, because I didn't want to tell her it wasn't true, because I know that, yes, those things are. And then Kenzie very often talked to Gigi. She talked to her all the time. And she would tell me at 6 and 7 years old that she was talking to Gigi, because I would hear her talking sometimes. And she's like, who are you talking to? I'm talking to Gigi. I was like, okay. So my experience, this was so strange. And if any of you have had an experience like this, please list it in the comments, because I'd be so interested in knowing what you think this is, what yours was, what your experience was. So I was sleeping in bed. Now keep in mind, I can't see very well. Without glasses or contacts, I'm legally blind. So I was sleeping in bed, and I was alone. It was one of those nights that my husband was in narcotics. He was not home all night. He had gotten called out, or he was working all night, something. And I opened my eyes, and floating above me was the most beautiful being that I have ever seen. But it wasn't in the shape of a human person. And it was so many bright, beautiful colors like I'd never seen before. And it didn't really have a face. I don't even know how to describe this, but it was moving up. It was over me, and it was moving up, and I could tell it was female, and I could tell that she was smiling at me, and I wasn't afraid of her. I was stuck to my bed like this, because I was like, what is this? Like, in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, like, what is this? But I wasn't really afraid, and I knew it was a female, which is weird because there's no physical body even or face. It was like a menagerie of the most beautiful, vibrant colors, very ethereal, kind of floating and moving, and then it just sort of floated all the way up through the ceiling, and it disappeared. Never saw it again. But I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a spirit. Obviously I wasn't afraid of it, so that was weird. And sometimes I would wake up in the middle of the night, and like I would see something standing at my bed, like like an actual being, like a child, and I would scream. I mean, that's happened my whole life. It hasn't happened in many years, probably in decades now. But it happened a lot when I was a kid, like all through my teenage years, all through it. And that scared the daylights out of me. I actually prayed for that to stop. So I think I somewhat hindered my ability because I didn't understand it. I wasn't ready for that kind of a spiritual growth in my younger years and teenage years. I do think I'm ready for it now. So I am taking a class to try to understand my mediumship and maybe have some sense of like being able to tap in and control it more, because I don't have that. I don't have any control when I get these dreams. I can't just see somebody and like talk to their loved ones, across the veil. I think maybe I have the ability, but I don't really know how to do it or tap into it or practice it. So I'm taking a 7-week course. I completed my first course this week. I do have homework to do. I am also writing down some of the stuff that I'm learning and practicing, and I'll keep you guys updated on that journey. I don't know, maybe it won't work, maybe it will. I just want to explore that part of my being. So I am very interested if you guys have any kind of spiritual experiences like this. If if you've went through this, please share in the comments down below. All right, now I'm going to have a few sips of this tea because Len Little Grayson is going to be here, and he is going to be a whirlwind the minute he arrives. Grayson, tell everybody what that is. You opened it? What is it?
Open.
A police car.
Open, yeah.
Open, yeah. But can you say police car? Where's the helicopter?
I
Where'd your helicopter go? Let me see. Bring it over here. Oh, yeah. Get your fire truck and your helicopter. Whoa! And what's your helicopter do? Come show me. Oh. Does it lighten up? Fly it in the sky. Go. Good job. Can we change your diaper now?
Hi.
Potty? Okay. And tell everybody what you did. Did you pee-pee on the potty?
Pie.
And yesterday, did you make poopy on the potty?
Pie.
Potty. So Grayson just pee-peed on the potty. He's been doing that for a while now. He's 2. And he also made poo-poo for the first time on the potty yesterday. And he was like, I poop potty. I poop potty. Oh, ignore that. That's gotta be clean. What did you do on the potty? Nitro, go lay down. Tell Nitro, lay down. Tell him, say lay down. You gonna get your cars and trucks? What?
Cocoa.
Cocoa melon? You want cocoa melon? Tell TT what you want.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if I can find cocoa melon, okay?
Yeah.
Is that what you want?
Cocoa.
What are you eating? What is that? I see it. What is it?
Snack.
What is it?
Snack.
Fruit snack. Say fruit snack. He said snack, but he can say fruit snack. And did you have a cake pop at Target?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, where'd it go?
Oh,
Where did it go? Oh, you got it. You got it. And we got some new clothes. What did we get at Target? We got, what's this? What are these, Grayson? What's on your shirt? Look at how cute this is. Thank you. What's on your shirt? Oh, that's Tigger. Yep, but what's on this shirt? Dinosaurs. Your mouth is full. And what's on this one? What's on your PJs? What are these? You gonna tell me? He's walking away. Dinosaur? Where's the dinosaur? Oh, you see it up there. You're right. Dinosaur. Huh? Balloon, yeah.
A big brother. I'm going to be a big brother. How do I do that? What does a big brother do?
What you eating?
What does
A chip? Is it good?
What's it like to be a brother? Is it hard? Will I struggle? Tell me, what does a big brother do?
Are you tired? Are you tired? You're telling me, shh, you don't want to hear that. Oh, what you got? Peep. Say peep, peep, peep. It's a marshmallow. Do you like that? I see. Oh, Dilly. You gonna throw it to TT? Grayson? Grayson! Throw the ball to TT. Whoa! You got me. Ready? Good job. Ready? You catch it. Good job. What do you say to the doggy? Tell him, lay down. Yeah! No, you got say lay down.
Yeah!
Don't hit him. Just say lay down. Say all mine. Not, oh, he thinks it's his. Hey guys, welcome to Sunday. I am getting ready to start some seeds. I'm just gonna fill the tray up out here so I don't make a mess in the house. And then I'm gonna go inside and pick my seeds out. I have some already picked out that I think I showed you guys. And I'm going to plant them and then stick them upstairs on a heat mat. I also have the lid that goes over this. It's about 60 degrees right now, a little windy, so anyway, we're just gonna finish this bag up of soil, and then I got another one because this is definitely not enough. That one's done. I've been using that for all my winter sewing pots, which are over there. I can't wait to get out here and like clean up a little bit. It's just so just like leaves everywhere. You can see my pansies over there are doing well. It's really the only flowers I have right now. Oh, I might need, let's see if I can get this open. Good news is it got some garbage, you know. Oh, yes. I can throw this stuff out. I don't want to throw my scooper out. So I'm just going to actually pour a little bit over. And then I'm going to get this wet. And then after I wet it, then I'm going to put the seeds in. I don't even remember where I got these. I have no idea where I got them, so don't ask, but you can order them anywhere. I think I probably got them on, knowing me, on Amazon or something, because I don't really have time to shop, so all my shopping is sort of done online. All right, so once you get it on there, you want to tamp it down, and then you want to kind of push it in each little hole. Make sure you're going to see that there's going to be ones that I have to like add more to. Like over here, so some of these that have too much in the middle. You just want to make sure that you don't have air pockets, because the seed needs to have good contact with the soil. And also the type of soil you're using matters. If you're using, don't use topsoil, that's too heavy. Your seeds will, could get lost and not, like if it's not fluffy enough, that's why you don't want to tamp it down too much, but if it's not fluffy enough, the seeds will have a hard time coming through. So you want to make sure that you have fluffy soil. So I'm using potting soil because that's what this is made for. I'm gonna do a little bit over here. And then some seeds, make sure you're paying attention to the packet. Some seeds need light to germinate, so you have to cover those. You can just gently press them in or put a very light dusting on top. And others do need to be buried a certain amount. All right, so I think we're good. I'm gonna go inside and wet this, and then we're gonna do our seeds next. All right, let's start our seeds. I do have, so this is a 3-piece set, so when I watered it, it does have a tray underneath to catch any loose water. Now, once my seedlings come up, I will be watering in the underneath the tray. I will be bottom watering. The reason you do that is because, well, first of all, the roots, once they grow, will grow right through the little holes in this, down into the water, and suck up through the soil. But also the reason to do that is so you don't get as much algae and like gnats and things like that on your soil. I also checked my tags, because if I put these tags in, they do have room to put the top on, which acts as a greenhouse. The top will stay on until we have full germination, and probably maybe first set of leaves, and then I will take the top off and maybe put a light fan in to give it a little movement to make the stems stronger. You all right, Dixie? Dixie is like sliding on the ground being weird. So we're going to do 4 different types of veggies, like kind of food, and 4 flowers. So we're doing the parsley. We are doing the black crim tomato seeds. I'm doing the Carib tomato seeds. I'm doing 4 plants of each of the tomatoes, and I'll put a couple parsleys in. We'll see what that does. If I have extras, I'll give them away. And we're doing some lettuce, and I'm going to put multiples of the lettuce in each one of these because those can be separated out later, and you can have lots of lettuce plants. And then for flowers, I am doing purple coneflower echinacea, which I have some in my yard, but If you get echinacea, doesn't like it to be it doesn't like top watering, and it doesn't like to be like soaked. So we had a really bad year, and I lost a lot of it. So that's why I'm doing more. And then Origeron, I tried some of these. This is a perennial, and they're so beautiful. It's really beautiful if you could get them to take. Mine did not even, they didn't take, so we're gonna try them again. We're gonna do the pansy bunny ears viola, which are so cute. And once you have these in your yard, they just sort of keep coming up year after year. They're not, I don't think they're a perennial, but I don't know. And very early spring or late summer fall. I got a dog here. Growing full sun to partial shade. Cool, moist, woodsy soil. Cool to cold temps. Occasionally self-sold. So we might put these on the side of the house or something. I gotta let the dogs out. And then we're gonna do this rainbow coleus, which is gonna be fun. Those will be all different colors. And again, I'll probably put a couple of them in each one. That way, as they grow, I can separate them out. I can give them as gifts, or whatever. So first I'm going to do my labels, and then we're going to do the seeds. But let's let the dogs out. I actually have so many more I wanna start, but one tray at a time. I don't wanna get overwhelmed. So we're gonna start lettuce, and today is the 19th. So this is Blonde de Paris lettuce. Blonde de Paris.
눈 뜨면 눈부신 아침 햇살과 모닝콜로 너와 시작하는 하루 마치 내 인생의 포커스가 지금에 맞춰진 걸까 따뜻한 모닝커피의 향기가 오늘 하루도 날 기대하게 만드는 걸 우리 오늘은 또 어떻게 지낼까 너를 바라만 보고 있어도 좋아 아무 말도 하지 않아도 난 좋아 너의 눈만 바라봐도 내 모든 걸 다 알 것 같아 우린 너무 완벽하게 모든 게 다
Okay, so also wanted to let you know that purple echinacea is actually a medicinal flower, and you can make a tincture with it with like vodka, and you just take the blooms and the stems and the leaves and shove it in like a bottle, and then you fill it up with alcohol, like a clear alcoholic vodka, and then you put it in the dark for a while, and then probably, I don't know how many, I gotta look it up, but then after like a couple of months or whatever in a dark, colder room, then you take all the plant material out and you're left with the tincture, and it helps you with like colds and like your immune system and things like that. So so it's always good to have that on hand. All right, I have this little tool. I don't know what it is. It's something of Robert's. It's a tool. So let's go ahead and start with our parsley right here. And parsley says, actually there's no, these came in like a little like thing I got in the mail, so there's nothing that tells me how deep, but typically a seed needs to be about twice its depth. So let me show you how little parsley seeds are. They're itty bitty. You can see the one right there. So they're pretty small. So we're just gonna make a couple little holes. And I'll see you guys back at the end as soon as I'm done here.
We just got to keep it rolling. There's no time to be wasting. I'd just rather move it along. Got both feet but in different waters. I need space more than orders. I'd just rather move it along. I know how you're feeling, 'cause sometimes I I do tight. Not tonight. You're gonna hear me. Gonna dance it off goodbye. My love, can we drop this? Our time can't pass us by. This bond makes us stronger just to be together. All I wanna do is crash now when you're spewing facts. Now I know that I am getting better. We know that we can get crazy when some things seem hazy. I know that I am getting better. I know how you're feeling, 'cause sometimes I do tight. Not tonight. You're gonna hear me. Gonna dance it off goodbye. My love, can we drop this? Our time can't pass us by. This bond makes us stronger just to be together. I'm getting better, you getting better. We getting better this time. I'm getting better, you getting better. We getting better this time. I'm getting better, you getting better. We getting better this time. I'm getting better, you getting better. We getting better this time. My love, can we drop this? Our time can't pass us by. This bond makes us stronger just to be together. My love, can we drop this? Our time can't pass us by. This bond makes us stronger just to be together. I love, can we drop this? Our time can't pass us by. This bond makes us stronger just to be together.
Okay, I made a slight change because I didn't have any viola. Those little bunny ears violas were not in the bag. We were out. So I did my coleus. These two needed light to germinate, the iridurana and coleus. So I did not cover the seeds. Barely covered the lettuce seeds as well. And then we substituted this Japanese Imperial Mix Morning Glory, which looks stunning. Now, Morning Glory can be invasive. So I have to think about where I want these when they come up. We'll see. But they're a vine, they're a climbing vine. So I think we've got fences I can put them on. I've got an arch that I can put them on. So lots and lots of places. So now all we're going to do, we're going to see what comes up and what doesn't. It's not all going to work. I'm going to do the best I can. So this is a little greenhouse. I have a heating mat and I have a small light. The light is not needed too much at this time, but except for the Ironcross and the rainbow coleus, because they need light to germinate, but they are going to be in a window. But I am going to put them on the heating mat on low and then put this one light that I have over it. And then of course it'll have more light once they germinate. So I wonder if the Ironcross needs, let's see what it says. 60 degrees, do not cover, 4 seeds per plant, which I did. These were so little. These were the tiniest seeds I've ever seen. It was like sand, like dust. And so that was really hard. So there's more than that. Keep moist until germination. Average germination time is 14 to 13 days. So that's going to take a while. The coleus takes 10 to 14 days, so about 2 weeks. And I believe this one was also said it needed light. Yeah, coleus needs light to germinate, but I did press the seeds into the soil so they have contact. Keep seeds well watered until established, harden, transplant into rich soil after all danger of frost. Okay, so I'm gonna take these upstairs and put them underneath on the heat mat, and then in a couple, we'll probably check on them in like 3 or 4 days, and then from there, as soon as I start seeing the first seedlings, I'll be checking on them daily, and then watering them underneath here and making sure that they have the heat and the light. Now I will probably take them off of the heat once they all germinate, and then they'll just have the light. So yeah, so thanks for planting my very first tray of seeds with me for 2023. All right, so when I put them upstairs, there was so much light coming in that window that I did not put the light on. Right now, just the heating mat is on and the lid is on, and I have a little thing that goes into the heating, into the soil as well, to measure, make sure that the soil is a good temperature. I actually think the temperature is set too high, but I can't figure out how to lower it. It says up and down, but when I do that, it goes to Celsius instead of Fahrenheit. And anyway, we'll see. We'll see how those guys do. I had to change my shirt because that sweater I was wearing, I was cleaning something up in the sink, and I had the squirter, and I squirted the water all over me like a stupid dork. Anyway, so I've got some laundry going. I have the dishes out of the sink and in the dishwasher, not going yet because we don't have enough in there to go. But I'll tell you, when Grayson and TJ are here, it's like I go through like loads of dishes with them. But when it's just me and Robert, we don't use that many. So Nitro's barking at me. Anyway, so I'm just excited that those plants are done. Thanks for coming along with me, and let's see what the rest of the week holds. Maybe before the vlog goes out, we'll have some sprouts. So Grayson helped me do this today. He put some slices in here. Look at all of them that they've eaten. There's been birds everywhere eating this today, so we've been getting tons and tons of little birdies. They are so happy to have food. And he was so cute. He's like, I do one more. He'd take a handful and put it in. And then when he woke up this morning, I said, look, you're having breakfast and the birdies are having breakfast. And he said, birdies, breakfast. When we walked down the stairs today, I said, do you want me to hold your hand? He goes, I do myself. I was like, okay. He's saying like complete sentences now. He pooped on the potty for me last night. And it was so funny because, well, first he peed on the potty, and then he comes out, and I said, Daddy and Mommy said you poopied on the potty yesterday, which he had just pooped on the potty for the first time the night before I had him. So I had him Saturday night, so this would have been Friday night. And he goes, I sit in the potty. He goes, and I go, and I pushed it all out. I was like, okay. Well, then he walked away from me, and when he does that, I feel like, because my kids used to do that, they would like hide when they had to poop. They were like, we're right in the throes of potty training. Hold on. All right, so yesterday he kind of walked away, and I was like, do you have to go poo-poo? He goes, on the potty. So we got to the potty, and when I pulled his diaper down, there was just a little bit of poop. He goes, uh-oh. I said, it's okay, baby. You still got more? He goes, So he sits on the potty. He's sitting there, and he's pushing, and it came out. But when it did, it made like a really loud farting noise, and he went And he jumped. It scared him so bad. I was laughing. I was like, good job. I'm proud of you. And he kept going, proud of you, proud of you. And I said, you're a big boy now. And he said, big boy. He's so cute. He's talking so much. He talks with Robert now, but he's still shy. But like the whole day yesterday before Robert got home, he kept going, Papa home, I check. Papa home, I check. And he'd walk over and look for him. But then Papa got here and he barely talked to him. He like gets a little shy with them. So, all right. So anyway, I think we're going to have leftovers probably today for dinner. Robert made some spaghetti and some of those Red Lobster like cheddar biscuits. We'll probably have those today as leftovers. And yeah, that's what's happening on Sunday. Good morning, guys. It is Tuesday morning. We've had a busy couple of days. So you saw I had Grayson over the weekend, and then yesterday I worked on Monday, and then my son and my grandson TJ and Tyler's girlfriend, Allie, stopped by, and she's carrying my next grandbaby, which is a little girl. So we're super excited about that. So they stopped by, so we just ordered a pizza, had a little bit of time with them, because it's been a long time since I've had TJ. And I had one more winter sewing jug, like a milk jug and when he was like, I don't know, maybe 2, I think I did a couple with him, and he did like these painted daisies, and they grew and they were beautiful. And that was when he was in Alabama and he had visited, and then I sent him photos of the jug as it progressed, and then when I moved it in the garden and it bloomed. And I didn't think he'd remember because he's 5, but he totally remembered. But he's like, that was a long time ago, TT. I said, I know. So we had one more, so he wanted to do it, and I was like, well, I have flowers or vegetables? He's like, flowers. But a lot of the flowers I have didn't have photos, and when he was going through, he found the big juicy watermelon seeds with a big photo, and he's like, I love watermelon, TT. I haven't had watermelon in so long. And I said, oh, you want to do watermelon? Okay. I don't know if the watermelon's going to work in the jug, but he wanted to do it. I didn't care. We just did it. And then if it works great, I'll, pot him out and we'll do them. I think he put 5 seeds in there, so we'll keep you posted. So we did that. Anyway, people are arriving and I don't want them to see me filming. It's weird. Oh, and I have a zit. Welcome to Tuesday. Hey guys, it is, what is it? Wednesday, and I'm in in the spare room up here, and I figured we could, I haven't been up here. So yesterday I came up and one seedling was starting to come. It was a morning glory, and that was it. Just one little seedling had just broken the soil. Wait till you see it now. So let me show you guys. You can kind of see, we just planted, literally, look at all the water on here. We just planted these 3 days ago. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so we have rainbow coleus, tons of them germinating. And then we have, in fact, I might have to take these off. These are the Japanese, this one's like a purple. They're so big, those are the morning glories. They are the morning glories, so kind of Japanese blends. Let me get in close. These are all coleus seeds. They were so little, the seeds. So we're gonna have lots of little coleus, and then of course we have 2, 3, 4, 5, and another one coming in. Morning glories that have come up. Guys, these came up in 3 days. So it looks like I have 2 purple ones and 2 green ones. So it'll be interesting to see what that is. It looks like something is germinating here. This is a black crim tomato. I can see coming up here. We have another one here coming up. Any other tomatoes? Let's see if we have anything else germinating. Something here. This is a Carib tomato. Also right here coming up. And doesn't look like we have any echinacea coming up yet. Here's another, I think I showed you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's that other one? 5 right here. Hopefully you guys can see that little green. So we are getting a little bit of germination. How stinking exciting. No parsley yet. Oh my God, I'm so excited to see this. But as you can see, these are a little bit high. I may have to just like pop these up separately and take them out because this tray is really not ready for me to take the tray off yet until we have more germination. And then here I had 2 tomatoes that were Tiny Tom. I literally just put these up here yesterday. So this one, nothing yet, has not germinated. I am going to go ahead and set the top back on here. Oh, get that wet. So those little guys, they don't have a lot of room. They got maybe this one's right up to the top. So these guys have a little bit of room. So we're going to keep this on another couple days, and then I may just plant these out separate and just like sit them over here. I do have a light here, which it's not needed just yet. Once I take this off, then I'll be clipping this. It's just got like a clip on it to the table and doing it. So yeah, I'm so excited. It's so exciting. Anytime you have seeds that sprout. Happy birthday, little seeds! So exciting. So also I have a flower outside that I got all this laundry. I'm just like stepping over because we're out of laundry detergent. I need to text Robert to bring some home on his way home. But anyway, I do have, what is it, a heuchera or something in outside. So our neighbor, like, when it came to the fall with all the leaves, we had just like cleaned up, made some piles of leaves, was like starting to clean it. And he took all of that was like between my property and his, and he leaf blowed all of the leaves onto my property and really buried a lot of my stuff. So I went out there the other day and started like kind of unburying the stuff. Robert was mad. He was going to take the lawnmower and blow it all back over to his side. It's fine. It acted like some insulation, but it like really buried some of my plants, so they're completely died back. And I don't know if they're all going to come back because of it. I mean, that's money that I have put into my yard, and he just like did what he did. So anyway, long story short, I ordered a rake because it was just too much, and my rake broke, so we have to clean that out. I think Robert might have a leaf blower too, and he's going to mow the lawn, and that's going to mulch up some of the leaves, and I got to get them out of the flower beds because we're going to expand a flower bed in the front, and then the side I need to add more mulch and compost and things and get that ready. There are some things coming up, so when I start that project, I'll take you with me, and I'll show you all the beautiful signs of spring. I do have pansies out here. Actually, I'm gonna let these guys in. And the pansies are pretty. Let me show you those. Those are the only other than the one pink heuchera flower that's out there that was buried that I found. I think that's the only flowers. I also have sedum coming up in the front. I have yarrow coming up in the front. And I have daylilies coming up. So nothing else is coming up. I cleaned a little bit out. Oh no. See that hole? Right there, my heel just went in it. So I cleaned up the strawberries a little bit. Hope these guys are going to do okay. Robert found a plant stand there, and that pot fit in it. That's a pot for my son, so we're going to put something in there. These are the beautiful pansies. They made it through the winter beautifully, and they are really filling out. There's nothing back there. I think we had something else. We did like something in the fall, and whatever that was is maybe a coleus is gone. But these flowers are doing really well. And then in here, a little bit of a different color palette. You can see, I just love them. There's one oddball, little blue one down here. And then most of those have like white and purple. And look at this guy. I don't know if you can see, but it's like a lilac color. So the one next to it has got the white. So how fun. These are beautiful. I just think the detail on pansies and the fact that they like the cooler weather makes me so happy. And then we've got the beautiful dark, beautiful plum shades in here as well. So very, very happy with those. Also down here, those, I'm not walking down there because I'm in heels, but those are carrots that we planted, friends. I think there's some over there, and then all of those are carrots, and they're growing and getting big. So I don't have a ton of carrots planted, but we do have some, and I'm excited about that because I have not had luck with carrots at all, ever. I've never grown carrots successfully. And then in here, it looks like it has some like tulips from last year. that are starting to come up here. Another strawberry plant. And then I don't know what this is. I think this is like a spinach or something that just started coming up. It must have been like an old seed. And it looks pretty healthy. It looks like at one point it got cold and got a little bit frost tender. But yeah, it's growing. It's good. It's edible. It's some kind of a spinach. So fun times in the garden. I'm so excited to see signs of spring as well. Nitro's out there somewhere still. I don't know where he is. Also, I don't see any signs of life in my Ironcross pot here either. It said that I shouldn't water it again. But I feel like maybe I should. I just want to like dig in there and see if there's like, I don't even see the bulb. Please tell me that they didn't rot. Yeah, nothing's really happened. They're just sort of hibernating in there. I guess not ready. It is so dry. I am going to give it a little bit of water though, because I think it needs it. It's warm in the house and outside. It's going to be 80 degrees tomorrow. Good morning. I have one depuffing gel on my face because I've got a little puffy side of my face here. It's Thursday morning. It is also 80 degrees out here. It is stunning. So I am going to actually do some leaf blowing because we do have some stuff growing and it's buried under the leaves. Robert brought the leaf blower out. I only have 3 bars, so I don't know how far I'm gonna get, but I'm gonna try to clean up the flower bed here a little bit and put you guys here so you can see. Right through here is what I'm gonna try to do. I'm just gonna put you lovely friends to music, let this soak in my eye, and yeah, I'll see you at the end.
Joy of the first steps of a child. It's the joy of your great-grandmother's smile. We came a long way, but we ain't slowing down. We got a strong pace, no we ain't losing ground. We won't give up and we won't turn around. Look at the big wide world we're living in. Yeah, I'll keep running until I discover it. I know I've got I know I've got can't be wasting my time. You make friends all along the way to break bread on another day. Always there to give you advice, help you find the wrong from the right. Even when you're not in their sight, you'll be alright. Just look at the big wide world we're living in. Yeah, just keep running until you discover it. Yeah, you'll be amazed at how far we can go. So what are we waiting for? I know I've got I know I've got can't be wasting my time. City nights have a way of waking up, starting minds, no one ever get enough. But we'll try everything to get it right. We'll get it right. Look at the big wide world we're living in. Yeah, I'll keep running until I discover it. I know I've got
All right, so I like pushed it all back off the beds a little bit. Hurt my fingers for some reason. So I'll just show you a little bit of what we have going on. First of all, we have a problem with this. This is really too thick. I'm gonna have Robert cut all of this back. There is stuff coming in, so down in here, that is, oh God, I forgot what it's called now, but it's salvia. It's a salvia coming in this whole area. And look, you've got sedums coming in. Mixed in here, this is a clematis that grows. It's all through in here with this rose. And I did trim this rose back because we had one piece going like way up. I trimmed that. I did not trim these yet, but that's coming. I don't know if there's anything in here. This is a balloon plant, but I don't know if this is a perennial. Oh, it is a perennial, so maybe I'll have to look and see. Oh yeah, there was something in there. All right, if it's not dead, I'll plant it and maybe it'll come back up. So then there's a bunch of, like, here's another little rose bush. This one was a David Austin rose. It really hasn't done well. I've had it now 2 years, and you can see most of it's dead. There's just this, like, little spot here that's alive on it. So I think what I'm going to do is dig this up this year and move this to a new location. Now, I have things sticking up everywhere, and I don't know what it is, so we're going to leave those things until we know it. Till we see what's coming up in this summer or springtime. We're also going to expand this, make this flower bed thicker. So looks like something's there. These are little primrose things that come up in the spring. This is another salvia. I didn't cut this one back, but this one is also starting to come in. Looks like we have our yarrow here. This is like a pink yarrow, a real pretty one. And then see this stuff I can probably pull out here. This stuff is so bad to get, so hard to get out because it just spreads with rhizomes. Whoever planted this here was an idiot. They brought the wrong kind. There's different kinds that you can plant, and this one is invasive that they planted. So, and also something's coming up here. Maybe that is like, maybe I'm guessing, but I think that is daffodils that are coming up. And this one I kind of cleaned up this rose bush as well. This is a David Austin. Lots of stuff happening over here. Lots of stuff coming in. I don't know what's what in here, what's a weed and what's not. Something right here, which I forgot what that is. Creeping Jenny over here. That might be purple coneflower or a coneflower, a type of coneflower. I don't know. These are still kind of alive, which is funny. We got a seashell. That is a, oh God, what are they called? It's a big bush, and I forgot what it's called right now, but that'll grow late. And then lots of, looks like there's an extra tulip here. Lots of little, like, these are like little daffodils coming in along the front. Looks like, so this is a dianthus coming in here. I think this is like last year's maybe snapdragons that have maybe like reseeded or something. That looks like phlox that's coming in right there. We've got some irises that I'm gonna move because I think I planted these too deep and I broke them. But I think I planted these a bit too deep. So I'm actually going to replant these. Oh, there's the, can you see? There's the rhizome. They don't like to be planted real deep, but I don't think they get enough room here. Again, that's probably a weed. And of course we have the phlox. So I have a lot to do in here. Again, another coneflower, another iris is over there, and a lot more of the little, of these little guys. These are going to be little yellow, tiny daffodils in here when they come up. So that is what we have going on. Here's more, lots of those. So I threw, like, you know how they give you the nursery containers, empty nursery container soil. I just threw throw it in here for some extra stuff for the good soil for them. Like this, I don't know what this is. I don't know if that's something that's gonna come back or not. This one's gonna be moved. This does have buds all over it. This is my lilac bush. It did not bloom last year. I got one bloom on it, so we'll see what it does this year. We have some ivy taking over here. This looks like a little rose bush right here. It's got prickers on it. This is a rose bush. Where the hell did that come from? We'll see what that does. This is a hydrangea bush. I'm a little worried because it's got buds all on it, and it's got new ones coming down in the bottom. And if we're supposed to get down to freezing this weekend. Probably should have left some of the leaves around this thing to insulate it a little bit, so I might put some more around there. And then over here, I just pushed all this back. Robert's going to take the lawnmower to this. I just opened all this up, so see, we've got some new growth coming in here on these guys. This is catnip, more daffodils, more heuchera. One coming in here. This, hopefully it'll start coming in. This is lemon, oh God. It's like I forgot what it's called now. Lemon something. And it's like it's basically a ground cover. We have this guy here, and we have another one here that needs cleanup. This is it's right there, a Primo Peachberry Ice. But look, it's got all little new shoots coming in. So I could probably like remove some of like these older crappy leaves on here and let the new growth kind of take over. Yeah, so we'll see how that does. That was a last year plant. Was this the one that had a flower on it the other night? I don't know, but we're getting new growth in that too. Oh, here's the flower. This, I believe, is another dianthesis. That's a ground cover. And here we go. Look at this little guy. This was buried. I found him the other day, and look how beautiful. Isn't she pretty? So pretty. I don't know what kind this is. Right here. Honeymoon Series Mixed Lenten Rose. Part shade to full sun. She gets a good amount of sun and shade over here. This is, I think, a type of Brunnera. Just starting to come back in, and that will also spread. We have some little trees and things. I forgot what this is, but it's something. Look at the cute little pods it's got on it. So, and that's a hydrangea bush. That's going to take a while. And then over here, we have some daylilies coming up. And then this is a candy corn spirea, and then this thing is a bottle brush. You can see it had some blooms on it last year. This will be its third season, so it does seem like it's finally starting to take. And these, I think, are in a beautiful, like one of them's in orange and one of them's like a peach. Here's one coming even over here, a peach color, really pretty. So that's exciting to see some signs of spring. We have so much to do to clean up this yard. I'm just going to let Robert kind of mulch all the stuff that I blew with the lawnmower, and then we're going to make the bed bigger, and then we're going to cut down those roses. I really hurt my finger doing that. Like I sprained my finger. Hey guys, so it is Thursday. It's 82 degrees out here, about 4:30. It's a beautiful day. I was out in the garden for a little bit doing some leaf blowing, hurt my hand really bad, and I was like shaking putting my makeup on. Here comes Robert. He's back. You ready? All right. Anyway, we're getting ready to go back, but I just got my nails done. Just a pretty color. I'm gonna end the vlog. I will see you guys next week. Have a wonderful day.